Good evening. You're watching N1's English language news Hungary reports. I'm Moshe Flom. Thanks for joining us. There's a great interest in a national consultation. So far, the citizens have completed more than 230,000 questionnaires. The current consultation mainly deals with the issues of the coronavirus pandemic. According to experts, it is almost certain that a second wave of COVID-19 will occur, which Hungary must prepare for as well. The government, therefore, wants to hear people's opinion on measures that help combat the pandemic.
In Hungary, there have been no new cases of deaths reported related to the coronavirus in recent days. The National Public Health Center, however, advises citizens to carry on with rules and regulations set up in order to prevent further spread of the coronavirus. Though we have successfully closed the first phase in the fight against the coronavirus, the virus continues to be present. Reports from neighboring countries reveal growing numbers, Balaton said. As there is no vaccine at this time, Hungary must be prepared for the second wave of the pandemic, stressed the Parliamentary State Secretary of the Prime Minister's cabinet. The government has thus initiated a national consultation on the topic in order to find out what the most supported initiatives are in terms of the fight against the coronavirus. The questions include, for example, if, according to Hungarians, there would be a need to further strengthen protection of old age homes, if citizens agree with the Economy Protection Action Plan, and finally, if they think that the healthcare system should maintain its preparedness for further infections as long as there is a chance of the occurrence of the virus. According to the brief of the Prime Minister's cabinet in recent days, the number of surveys filled out and sent back have increased significantly. This shows that Hungarian citizens find it important to voice their opinions on the topic. Balaton said that this is precisely why it is troubling that left-wing parties have issues with the national consultation again. A month ago, Ákos Hatházi and Bernadette Szél called upon the public to send their blank surveys to them. The Momentum Party also joined their initiative. Balaton summarized, it is vital that Hungarians adhere to the decisions set up in place to thwart the coronavirus. Hindering the consultation process, therefore, jeopardizes the protection against the second wave. We ask all political participants, especially the left-wing parties, not to step out of the zones of the law, and if they do not wish to take part in the dialogue on the coronavirus anymore, to at the least, refrain from preventing the dialogue. Perhaps also because the virus is totally neutral in terms of debates in domestic politics, Balaton said. Adding that every confrontation is a new reason for everyone to voice their opinion in terms of virus outbreak protection.
Europe is in retreat and performing worse than it was doing 30 years ago. The balance of power has changed and everyone expects Germany to give a solution, Viktor Orbán stated at an online international conference entitled Europe Uncensored, held on Wednesday. In addition to the Hungarian Prime Minister, the Serbian Prime Minister Aleksandar Vučić and the Slovenian Prime Minister Janez Janša also delivered a speech at the forum organized by the Foundation for a Civic Hungary. Viktor Orbán also highlighted that Europe had divided into two parts due to two concepts and that the EU could only be kept together as a whole in one way.
I think that
the European Union not only needs to become the world's best place for living standards, but needs to gain stronger political role again too, said the Prime Minister of Serbia at an online international conference entitled Europe Uncensored, held on Wednesday. Aleksandar Vučić said the politicians of today need to place economic and safety cooperation before false society elitism and alleged political correctness.
People are fed up. People are fed up with stupid allegations that are coming from alleged experts that knows everything, but they have no results. And people also wants to see the real people in which they're going to believe, in which they can believe. They want to see certainty.
The Prime Minister of Slovenia, Janez Janša, spoke about how favorable and optimistic people viewed the EU 15 or 16 years ago, but nowadays they see the situation more realistically. He added that even though many positive developments have taken place, the EU has faced lots of challenges too. As an example, he mentioned the failure of accepting the European Constitution, the financial economic crisis, the migration crisis in 2015, which he considered shocking, and the coronavirus pandemic this year.
When this epidemic started, we faced a massive failure of global institutions. The institutions we created to prevent such situation, we created for early warning, World Health Organization, United Nations,
In the last 12 years,
Europe used a tactical approach in the period full of crisis, which led to a dead end, the Prime Minister of Hungary said. Viktor Orbán noted, Europe is going downhill, the balance of power has changed as well, and right now everyone expects Germany to give a solution. The head of government also highlighted that Europe had divided into two parts due to two concepts, and that the EU can only be kept together as a whole in one way.
That the West does not or should not force its views on Eastern countries. We need to learn to tolerate our differences again, and we, Central Europeans, should not want to tell the Westerners how they should run their country. So if we are ready to accept that kind of differences, even in terms of the vision for the future, we can manage to live together and we can keep together the Union as a whole. So we Central Europeans should ask the Westerners, please don't tell us how we have to live our lives.
The Prime Minister of Hungary emphasized that economic performance and strengthening of competitiveness was a real challenge.
Construction works of the Paks 2 nuclear power plant have come to its next phase, as the company responsible for the investment submitted an application for an installation permit for the 2 new blocks to the Hungarian Atomic Energy Authority, which has 1 year to evaluate the application.
Construction of the Paks 2 nuclear power plant began approximately 1 year ago. The gigantic investment has approached a new stage. The Paks 2 Ltd submitted the so-called installation permit application with regards to the 2 new blocks to the nuclear authorities. The goal of this document is to convince the authorities that all of the nuclear safety requirements are fulfilled in terms of the block. János Suli said, "This is what the minister without portfolio responsible for the Paks project said in an interview to M1 News channel." János Suli emphasized, the blocks developed by the Rosatom State Atomic Energy Corporation fulfill all the safety requirements of Hungary and the EU. The authorities have 12 plus 3 months to evaluate the license. 100 international experts are involved. Questions can arise in terms of any processes, and we must provide answers if needed. We believe that there will not be a question which will hold back the timely release of the permission. János Suli said, "If everything goes well, the next year, the necessary works for site preparation needed to build the blocks can begin."
The Folio Arboretum is Balaton, one of the most special botanical gardens in Hungary, expresses the Mediterranean atmosphere, where visitors can get acquainted with 5 continents, 500 types of trees, including pines, cypresses, cedars, as well as flowers. A children's paradise, a mini adventure park, and an educational trail await the little ones at this excursion spot for families, and the adults can taste the excellent wines of Balaton Hill in the neighboring winery. A lookout tower called Szép Kilátó in Balaton is a must-visit attraction of Lake Balaton. The area, once called Chapel Hill, is located at 140 meters above sea level and rises from the eastern end of Balaton. Therefore, unlike other constructed lookout towers, visitors don't even have to climb Szép Kilátó to admire the picturesque beauty of Lake Balaton, the so-called Witness Hills, the unique volcanic formations of the Tapolca Basin, and the Szigliget Bay. That's all for now. We'll be back tomorrow night at around the same time, and you can catch the English news online as well. Please stay tuned for our other foreign language news broadcasts. Thanks for watching. Take care. Good night.